Hi, everyone. Welcome to our new Power Burst. Today, Tara and I are talking about personal strengths and how personal strengths help us, whether it be individuals or in schools with teachers or with students. What do we mean in solution focus when we talk about personal strengths? Tara?
Yes, I think this is just such a brilliant topic. And I think what's quite interesting in when we're talking specifically around solution focused is that some would say that solution focused approach is not a strengths-based approach. So, what does that mean?
Yes.
And I think that's a really, really important question. And but I think people can make assumptions about what we mean when we're talking about strengths. And
Yes.
what I love about solution focused is it's much more about rather than what you are, it's what you are doing. That's
Yeah.
how I see it. And that it's much more about that sort of curiosity when we're having a solution focused conversation with somebody around what's working.
Exactly. Yes. What is working. And so it could be strengths can, in fact, be, for example, factors that contribute to our success, right? So, for example, in a school, you might have a student who gets up from their desk and leaves the classroom and doesn't say anything, but just leaves the classroom to go wander the halls. And now the teacher is really upset because the teacher is thinking, what's going on here? Student didn't ask for permission. They've left the lesson. But that student might have ADHD. And that student knows that in order for them to be successful in this lesson, they have to leave the class and go and wander around a little bit so that they could move their body so that they can come back and focus. And so what that going into the hallway is it's actually a great thing. It's a factor that contributes to that student's success. And so then really it's a question of the teacher developing that relationship with the student to say, okay, let's look at what you need
Yeah.
and how can I support that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so important to sort of share because yeah, people have good reasons for what they're doing.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful example of that, isn't it? And I think within a school context and for children and young people, if you kind of when I've done some sort of transitions work from primary school into secondary school and exploring strengths, resources, capabilities, and children will kind of make these statements, "Oh, I'm really good at gymnastics," or other people will share about children, "You're really resilient." We kind of make these statements. And actually, I love Carol Dweck's growth mindset because I think that really speaks to what's important and what kind of lies within what we're doing in solution focused as well. It's rather than trait praise, it's process.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it. And that being curious about the tiny details of how and what and where and I think we can sometimes miss the things that we do every day that enable us to like a child to get to school on time. How did you get to school on time today? Oh, well, I made a plan to pack my bag last night and I got my uniform out ready. Wow, you
Exactly.
packed your
Exactly.
bag.
So it is skills and abilities and interests that kind of just build upon themselves. And how wonderful if we can help young people by pointing them out and being really explicit about it, just as you were mentioning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's that curiosity, isn't it? That's those questions that, we can ask them. We might notice it about them. We can share that with them. But what is really important is for them to notice it about themselves. So we can be
Exactly.
curious about it and amplify it and
Exactly.
and enable them to notice what they're doing. And we talk about sort of, that, well, that self-efficacy, that self-belief. And when
Yeah.
we're curious about people do and how they do it and what's working rather than what's not working, then in effect, we would hope that we will build their sense of self-belief.
Yes. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Vicky.
Lovely conversation.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, everyone, for
Take
listening.
care.